Welcome to another episode of Whipsarecracking's Racing Review Show. It was a massive day of racing both in Sydney and Melbourne over the weekend, and we've got a lot to cover. I'd like to introduce Suman Hedge, the bloodstock manager for Iskander Racing, and morning mate, morning, and Matthew Zammit, who's our respected form analyst. Morning, and I think that probably the first race we want to get stuck into really is the TURNBULL. Now, however, before we do that, we just want to play back a few things that have been said over the last couple of episodes of this show, and then we'll review the race.
Look, Underwood Stakes, what's to be said that hasn't already been said about Weekend Hustler? It's another sensational win. I think for me, the thing to take out of this race was he really stamped himself as a horse that can win the Cox Plate now with this run. There were question marks raised last week, particularly by Uavo, that look, maybe he's not yet proven himself under pressure circumstances.
Up to 2,000 metres, I've got no doubts that the horse is he's a superstar.
I did mention last week that I didn't think he was as dominant a racehorse as what people think he is, and that he would come back to the field a little bit. And yesterday's race was nowhere near as dominant, his win yesterday, as the Mackay Diva.
I'm saying to you, this horse just does what he has to do. Like he's a very arrogant horse.
I think he's in a lot of trouble. I think come Caulfield Cup Day, he won't be there.
This is on camera, you know, Arvo.
Yes, I realise that, and this is perfect for him to express our thoughts.
Look, I think,
and we can replay this. And if he wins the Caulfield Cup, that's it. I'll wear one of those mankinis.
Oh, this is
the Borat War. Okay, mate. What are your thoughts on the TURNBULL?
Well, I thought it was a great race yesterday, and I think it was really in Melbourne the first real staying test of the season, and we saw the emergence, I think, of a new staying star in Lottorio. He's a horse who has always shown a great deal of promise. As a 3-year-old, he was the horse that was running on in every race. And
well, it was 2 derby placings to his credit, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. He had a poor winning strike rate. He only won the one race before yesterday. But you know, for mine, he was always a horse that was a progressive type and was going to keep improving as time went on and as he got over some distance. And he's a real handicapper. I mean, let's face it. The horse took advantage of the weight conditions yesterday, and I think he'll do the same in the Caulfield Cup. Master O'Reilly, great performance yesterday. Right back to form. He really at one stage there looked as if he might get the race. He was attacking the line there pretty strongly and almost looked like he might overcome Lottorio. Very happy with his effort. Zipping, a fantastic effort from him.
What a grand old stager he is. Yeah, I mean, just an amazing horse for many years now.
I'm surprised they're not running him in the Caulfield Cup. Of course, the disappointment of yesterday was Weekend Hustler. I think went into the race there, and you know, very short price favourite, and his effort was very disappointing. I think the horse may have been found out yesterday that you know, at that sort of distance, anything over 1,800 metres, he just struggles a little bit to get the distance. So I think we may have found the chink in his armour. Arvo, give you credit. You've had your doubts about the horse, so I'm sure you'll talk about that. But
yeah, we'll cover
efficient, ticking over perfectly.
What a great run!
Perfectly, he's just right on the button.
Yeah, agree.
Just wait till the Melbourne Cup with him. That's all they care about.
Let's have your point.
Look, I suppose we don't want to cover over the same ground, so there's not too much there that Sue missed. I guess performances. Look, you know, I said to the boys, live by the sword, die by the sword. I just, you know, sort of looked into the camera and said I think the race is over insofar as a Caulfield Cup and Cox Plate point of view for Weekend Hustler. I still really have probably no reason to get off the horse in the Cox Plate at the very least. Caulfield Cup is looking probably pretty doubtful when you consider the horse has to go an extra 2 furlongs. I'm probably not considering the effort as disappointing as everybody else. I think the horse had an enormously difficult run. you know, Brad Willa popped him out pretty early and took off around the field. You know, those sort of efforts tell on horses. They tell on the best of horses. You know, perhaps he looked pretty ordinary because he folded up quite quickly and noticeably near the end. I haven't completely put a line through the horse. I'm happy to see they're still going to have a shot at the Caulfield Cup. It may ruin his chances in the Cox Plate, who knows. But, you know, I'll stand by him. You forgive a good horse a bad run. The others behind him, you know, I certainly think Master O'Reilly and Latoria were the two better runs. I thought Efficient wasn't as strong as he was first up. I still thought the run was good enough and all that was necessary for him leading into a Melbourne Cup, still ticking over well.
Well, I mean, you make some valid points. Often I watch a race and wonder to myself, what the hell's going on out there? But in any case, before I get into Weekend Hustlers' efforts, Latoria, look, Nigel Blackerson, monkey's off his back a little bit. I mean, the horse before yesterday was a Sale Maiden winner. And it's good to see that the horse finally got across the line, and maybe now he'll start realising that potential he's always showed. And even so, like yesterday, he got him with 53 kilos. I don't know if he's going to be carrying too much more in the Cups anyway. So
less.
Yeah, so he's right on track for the big Cups races. Can't take any of that away from him. And he's shown previously that he's got no problems running out 2,400 metres. So right on track. Master O'Reilly, I thought backed up his first effort where he's run 6th in the Mackay Diva. I thought he got home reasonably well that day. 2,000 metres yesterday, Flemington. It was a set up for him to run a nice race. He probably surprised a few people, but I thought he was, you know, it wasn't that big a surprise. Nor with Zipping. He's been a very consistent horse for a very long time now. He's made a lot of Group 1 placings at weight for age level also, and he's been a terrific horse. His first up effort in the Dado Tanching Name was enormous also, made a lot of ground, and the 2,000 metres suited him, and he's the sort of horse who's always going to be there in his high pressure races. So the fact that they're going for the Cox Plate doesn't surprise me. I think actually the Cox Plate is a very winnable race this year. I don't know, they're still going with the Caulfield Cup with Weekend Hustler.
Provided he's pulled up.
Yeah, to me that's an ego thing. I think he just wants to prove that he's not wrong, the trainer there. I'd be scrapping the Caulfield Cup totally, and I'd be concentrating on the Cox Plate myself. But with Efficient, I thought he's right on track for the big races. The 2 miles, the thing is this is 2,000 metres weight for age, and he's running nice sectionals over the concluding stages, getting beaten 4 lengths. That's terrific, because once you get over 2 miles, a lot of these horses will be having heart attacks coming to the home turn. And this bloke will be finishing over the top of him. He's a strong stayer, he's getting set for the Cups again, and I really do believe that he can make it back to back.
He's got to give a lot of weight to Latoria though.
He does, but he's proven at the 2 miles at Flemington.
That's true.
Latoria's still got to do it. There's a big difference between 2,400 metres and 3,200 metres. Coming back to Weekend Hustler now, yes, I have put my neck out and not so much wanting to bag the horse, but I'm just not on the bandwagon of wanting to call him a champion. Not just yet. I think he's still got a lot to prove. And I have said previously, coming into this spring, he's won up to over a mile, and I thought the only time he was super impressive this time in as far as margins go, is when they went 1,000 metres in 1:05 and he sprinted home and he was just superior. Turn of foot got him there. But previously he'd won his races, but only by like 3/4 or a long neck in the Memsey and stuff like that. Like he hadn't dominated his rivals. But I have a theory on Weekend Hustler, and this is it. When at weight for age, a lot of the races are awfully run not at a cracking pace. You know, there's sort of these dawdles and very tactical sprint home, and he's superior when that happens. Like he outsprints his rivals. But once you get into a race where it's a more high pressure race, and he's got to do the chasing or that sprint, it comes out of his legs, because by the time in a high pressure race over 2,000 metres, it comes to the stage at the 200 metre mark where you've really got to find and sprint. That sprint's now been taken out of him because he's had to chase. And yesterday, where he was asked to do a bit of work and chase and 3 deep a little bit there for quite a while, he'd never had that sprint left in his legs because that had been taken out. And he
do you think he's more like Lonhro?
Yes,
I was about to say, I don't
100%.
necessarily
I
agree with
think
that, but I was about to say
he's a
the
lot more
horse who
like
was
what-
last night, that was Lonhro.
That's
it was
right.
fantastic in weight for age. The turn of foot that he had near the end of a
Yeah.
race that was won quite tactically.
Exactly.
But in the Cox Plate in the Doncaster Handicap pressure races. he was-
Exactly, and that's where Weekend Hustlers I always found will be found wanting.
Before we wrap up, a couple of horses I've sacked. Well, Maldivian, not that he was ever one of my horses, but God, you'd be an idiot to ever have your money on that horse ever again. And secondly, in Zagreb, had a fantastic run last start and was pretty disappointing.
It was disappointing. I think that I've said on the Turnbull, boys.
Yeah, terrible stuff.
All right, thanks guys.